My name is John. I'm in Conan, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
So you have a new record coming out today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's out.
It's already out. Yeah,
it's out. How do you feel about it, man? Are you pumped or what?
Good. Yeah, relieved is one way of describing it, because it's kind of like the culmination of, I don't know, two over them, and yeah, relief. I mean, also a little bit of sort of curiosity, wondering what people are going to think of it. And excitement. You know, we get to play these songs live now. Well, we've been playing two of them live, but we get now to play more of them live because they tend not to. We don't like to play too many off the album live before we release it. So now we can start to throw a few more songs in the set. So yeah.
It's hard to do that as a musician, isn't it? When you have these new songs, you just want to share it with the world, but you're like, but we have to release a record, so we can't play them yet.
It's hard to share them when you haven't been rehearsing them too much. That's the main block. But like when we record the album and we kind of don't. We're not a band who has all the songs locked in and sort of stage ready before we go to the studio. We'll have like riffs, and then we'll go in the studio and sort of write as we go along for a lot of the album, and then we sort of form the album in the studio rather than having it ready to go a year before. And this COVID thing made that approach the only approach we could take, because we couldn't get together and rehearse because of Johnny, our drummer, lives in Dublin, so he couldn't fly over here. I live in Liverpool. He's like only half an hour away on a plane. But he couldn't come over anyway because of the restrictions. So we had to just kind of write a lot of it remotely, and then we got in the studio towards the end of last year, and that's when we really were able to play together seriously, writing the album, and it came together.
Sonic quick. Blast in Portugal.
Yeah, that was last weekend.
How was it?
Great.
Crazy, right?
We've played there once before. We played in the. I'm sorry, say again.
That was pretty crazy, right? It was sold out. I saw pictures from it.
Yeah. I don't know what the crowd is there, but like maybe 2,000-3,000 or something. And it's like an hour outside of Porto and stuff. It's a really great place for a festival. And we got there. Didn't have hardly any sleep on the way there because of the way our traveling situation was on the day. But the festival was cool. And we got to see our friends in Weed Eater, who we've not seen in the flesh since. Last time we saw them was in New Zealand, Australia in 2016.
Oh, wow.
So to see them again was lovely. And we're friends with the guys in Electric Wizard. A few different time. It was the festival. The show itself went really well. And
was it hot as hell?
No.
Really?
No. I mean, the weather was lovely, but it was warmer here.
What?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Warmer here, and when we get hot weather in England, because we're surrounded by water, it's really shit. We don't get like nice like Texas dry weather where you step outside and it's like hot but nice. When we get it, it's hot, but it's going to rain soon. So it's like a really bad version of Thailand. Something.
You walk into a wet blanket and you're sweating as soon as you leave the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, I'm glad I just had a shower now that I'm covered in sweat.
Yeah.
It's like living in DC.
Yeah, we get the worst of everything in the UK. We got the worst warm weather that you can expect, because we have it for a few days and then it's gone again. And then it's cold and wet. And then we just all we do is moan about the weather, which is all. Let's have a different question.
That's the perfect atmosphere for
sure you get this question all the
right?
time. But you said you're in Liverpool,
yeah.
right? What's it?
The weather.
But what's it like? What's it like being a metal band in a
Don't
town
mention the
that
Beatles.
everyone
Oh, you
associates
did
with the Beatles?
mention the Beatles.
Oh,
I knew you were going to. How long have we been going now? What's like 4 minutes and we've done it? Me and all my family got a
I just
sweepstake going.
I love this guy. I
Yeah.
love you, man. I retract that
Yeah.
question. What's it like being in Liverpool in a country?
Well, that's even worse because they're from Manchester. So yeah. Yeah. So that's okay. Actually, the Beatles thing is cool. I mean, it's good, but it doesn't make any difference to us. They didn't build any. They didn't build a rehearsal studio and donate it to bands who didn't have any money. They didn't help the underground in Liverpool at all. They made their money, moved to LA. They don't help us anymore. To be fair, Paul McCartney did open Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts, and we did record a demo there many years ago when I was like 18 or something, but that was in a completely different band and everything. But yeah, they didn't really. They had no bearing at all on myself. And
cool. So why do you ask about the Beatles? Damn it. So where you got what's the tour plans for you now?
Well, next first Brazil, and then the weekend after that we're in Poland.
Wow.
And then I think two weekends after that we're in France, and then we got like a handful of festivals. End of October we're heading over to Canada for like I think it's 8 or 9 shows, and then again just a handful of festivals, and then we got a short run of shows in the UK towards the end of November, and we do have some dates in New Zealand and Australia lined up for next year, and we are at the very early stages of figuring out some plans to come over to the US.
What venue are you playing in Vancouver? If you're doing a Canadian tour, you're obviously going to probably play Toronto, Montreal, probably Quebec City, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Calgary. Where are you playing in Vancouver?
Well, we actually don't have a venue lined up yet in Vancouver. I think we're still working that out. Our booking guy is working on it.
Cool.
So right now, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I just
thought is that where you are?
No, I live in Washington D.C., but I lived in Vancouver for like 20 some years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know a few people in the metal scene there, so I was wondering where you were playing and what venue.
Yeah. We've played in Vancouver plenty of times, and so I don't know why they're having a problem finding a venue this time around, but
yeah, it's probably due to a lot of places shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. After COVID, they were like, "Okay, we're done."
Yeah.
So, and I think that's true globally speaking. COVID shut down a lot of live music venues.
Yeah, they did for sure.
So
I remember the last time we played in Vancouver. We played there twice now. I think that we played this venue twice. Played Vancouver 3 times or maybe more. And there was a pool table there. I remember that, and I was like, no one beat me at pool, and I'm not really that good at pool. But somehow, won every game. And then another thing that was interesting, this guy turned up. Like I think it was an interview that was lined up by the label, and I think he was Iranian or something, and he wanted me to do an interview with a hoodie on, with the hood up but backwards so that you couldn't see my face, and I had to say no, and he was really annoyed about it.
That's pretty fucking weird, man.
I don't know whether he was also going to put his hoodie on backwards. It just seemed like a really weird thing to do.
Was it some sort of gimmick? What was that?
I don't know. I don't know. No idea. I mean, I wasn't really in the mood anyway. And then he's asking me to do this weird thing, and I just thought, like, I can't be bothered.
He's probably going to make you put your hoodie on backwards and ask you about the Beatles.
Yeah, probably.
And that's the end of that story.
Yeah. Yeah, so no one could see my disgust.
What was his reaction after you told him no?
He was pissed off.
I mean, I think that's a lot to ask.
Yeah,
it was
it was really weird. I mean, I don't know whether now that I think about it, I don't know if he actually did arrange it through the label, and that was my main reason for saying no, just because I didn't know who he was and whether his magazine was like the label approved them or whatever. I don't know.
Or as good as this podcast.
Yeah, or as good as this podcast. Well, it definitely wasn't. But to be fair to him, though, he didn't mention the Beatles once. So,
because he didn't give him the chance.
Yeah.
Right.
So there you go.
So we're black. Hey, Bruce, we're blacklisted.
No,
I know. This is the last time we talked to John.
Yeah, he's like,
no,
I'll talk to you guys. Just get that bald guy off the show. And
you're all right. You no problem at all. I actually welcome Beatles questions because it gives me a chance to say that they did nothing for us.
They made
That's
their
funny.
money and moved to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty funny. Bruce?
So
I'm just like,
how do you prepare for a tour? I mean, we're all getting older. Things have changed. The whole climate has changed. How are you preparing for a long stretch of tours, or a long run like you're talking about now? I mean, obviously things are different, right?
Slightly different. I mean, the last tour we had, proper tour, was a month-long tour towards the end of October 2019, and we had a European tour with 2 US bands, and my I can't remember the other band's names now. So edit this bit out, please. We went on tour in Europe with 2 bands from the US, and Sixes and I beg your pardon, are from Seattle, Sixes are from LA, and that was just a tour like any other. Since then, we've not, because of COVID and whatnot, we've not really done a tour that length. I think maybe the main difference, I don't know, it's like COVID's not really a thing now over here. Maybe it is in Australia, New Zealand, and I don't know. But for us, really, there's not really been any change. I mean, we've done a lot of flying festivals, and not really, as I mentioned now, don't have to do any forms or anything at the airport. You don't have to produce your COVID inoculations or anything like that. No, you don't have to do any of that now. I mean, we have them on our phone, but it's not even mentioned in the press anymore over here. But
it's the same here. It's the same here and in Canada.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing as long as it has actually been dealt with, and they're not just ignoring things,
right?
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, the main difference is like you mentioned in the preface too, that we're a little bit older now. I don't think I'm old enough to worry about getting older yet. I've got a bit more grey. So I will have to just try and appear younger somehow. I might just have to wear white trainers or something, so the kids will think I'm trendy still
and cool.
But and I don't know what else I am, and I'm going to the gym now to try and shake off some of the extra weight that I put on in lockdown. But really, no real change so far. We're just that excited to get playing again, because it feels like quite a long while since we got since we toured. We've done festivals and stuff now since August last year.
Right.
But getting in the van or someone else's van and being driven around is bliss. And honestly, the idea of coming over to the US again, and I'm not just saying this because you guys are from America, it's something that we're super excited about. So we are now in a position to get our visas all sorted and get a tour booked, and we got some offers now. So we got a few anchor shows that we can plan a show around. So I'm sure a US tour will start coming together. But yeah, no big differences really. I mean, I suppose one. I took on a day job in May last year, just to get some regular income, because I'd been doing music full time since 2013. But it came to May last year, and I had to get myself an office job, and I work for the government now in the UK. So I mean, it's a job that I enjoy for what it is, but it's not something I can see myself doing forever,
Right.
So as soon as I'm able to, I'll be jumping back out into music full time. So I guess in that respect, one of the differences is that I can't I have to be mindful of how much annual leave I'm taking. And actually,
Sure.
I've taken all already for this year. So now I'm just like I'm trying to balance like can I take a day's flexi leave and go on this show? Or I'll like cancel half a day's holiday so I can use half a day's holiday in at this tour that's
Brazil, right?
whatever festival it is. So I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul at the moment is the phrase we use over here, just to try and make sure I've got enough leave available so I can take the time off that I need. But I've just about managed it for our upcoming shows, so that will be an issue when we European tour for 2 or 3 weeks because that's all my annual leave gone in like two small tours. So yeah, I'm that's a concern that I haven't had since 2013, and I don't like it. So
I
I don't
imagine
want to
a
have to do it
lot
for
of
much longer.
people. I imagine a lot of bands had to like reinvent themselves and get full-time jobs or some kind of employment because of everybody was locked up, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess most of them already did. I don't know many of my peers who gave up a day job to work to do music full time. I'm not going to say that I know everyone's private life, but those people that I know, there aren't many who gave up music, gave up, a day job to work music. And my job, I used to work in HR back in 2013, so I was delighted to give that up because what a job that is. But the job I've got now is like, it's like a case working job. So it's quite enjoyable, quite interesting, I can listen to music while I work, so that's cool. And I work from home 3 days a week, so that's good too.
Nice.
And it's the best possible job that I could have got in the circumstances. That's what I believe.
That's
And
great.
I got it in May when we were still in lockdown, so I had disposable income, and it was great because it helped keep me sane and help. We could put food on the table and all that. So I don't know what I'd have done without it, to be honest. But yeah, I think hopefully I won't need to be doing this forever.
Oh, good for you.
So, do you ever read the comments on YouTube on your videos?
The comments, some of them, yeah,
Uh-oh.
some of them I do. Some of them are hilarious. Every now and again, I reply to them, but
I, I
I don't do that anymore since I
this
threatened
is
them
my
on.
favorite one.
Going,
I've been a long time Conan fan, and I didn't know they were hot chicks.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah, I know. That's on the video for levitation hoax. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, more fool them. If they didn't know, then they've all have been following us for long enough. Then, 'cause, I mean, yeah.
Right.
The story behind that video
No.
was we had to make the video for the album. Obviously, we had an obligation to do that, but we don't really like being in our own videos. We don't like the idea of us being on stage playing in a video like that. So we spoke to our friend Essa, who works over in Finland. He actually runs a festival. He took us over to Finland to play there back in 2013, 14. So he's someone who's been part of our story for a while now. And I knew that he made videos for other bands. And so I got in touch with him and asked him if he wanted to do a video for us. And he he said yeah. So we made the video, but we didn't want to be in it. So I said to him, any chance we can have like someone act our part? And originally we were going to have three kids up there playing, whoever these kids were. And but that wasn't possible for whatever reason. So we suggested that we'd have three women who will get up and play on stage. We just wanted someone who was clearly not us.
Yeah.
If we got like three other lads with beards and long hair, then it'd be like, well, what like we want. So we didn't pick like women statement or anything like that. There's no politics involved. They just happen to be like in a demographic that was clearly not us. If there was, it would have been cool if we could get some sort of wild animal to have done it instead. But they're really hard to work with apparently,
Right.
and there aren't that many in Finland because it's so cold. All the wild animals die because it's so cold. So
It's a great interview.
The best thing we could do, actors, and they happen to be women, and yeah, they did a great job with that. Wasn't source mythology going on, but the guys who did those video stories weren't available, and the guy who did the video for Pain Incantation, which is a 40-second long grindcore album, if he'd have budgeted to have been probably £300,000, he told us, because we got that video for Pain Incantation off the last album done for free, but the work that went into it was, like, so yeah, I forgot the original question.
Next comment that I love. Excuse me while I wreck my office.
Yeah, I think I typed that.
And then the next one is, I see Conan got them some diversity hires. Hilarious video, guys.
No, I think a lot of people made comment on the fact that we had women playing our parts in that video. I think it's cool, and I guess for some people it was an opportunity to make a bit of a joke about it. So that's all good. It gets people talking. Cares, right? Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, totally.
I mean, I just wonder, I just wonder how many bands actually go and read their comments.
I do sometimes. I do. I remember someone said they should sack the. Oh no! Someone threatened to shoot the producer or something like that.
Wow! What?
Joking, because they didn't think that Chris was a good producer on whatever album it was. So I replied as Conan. I said, "How about I shoot you?" or something like that. And then I realized that maybe I shouldn't be responding to these at all, because I haven't got the temperament for it. So I don't even own a gun anyway. So it was an empty threat.
Nice. Hey, we're running up against time, John.
Listen, wow, this music is awesome. But I was actually searching for Conan the Barbarian.
You were talking. I couldn't hear you then. You were talking over yourselves. I think you're all. I think there's a.
This person says, "Wow, this music is awesome." But what turns up if I search? But I was actually searching for Conan the Barbarian. Anyways, I just think it's funny to react to comments, right? Because everyone has an asshole. I mean, an opinion. So, and you get some really funny ones, So
yeah, I like it. It's good.
All right. I don't know if
hey, you're almost at 50,000 views, so can't bitch about that.
That's pretty good. Good. We'll buy a copy and then we can retire.
Yeah.
No, it was nice to talk to you, and it was a great interview. Thank you. Good
to see you again.
We try to just keep it light and rolling, And I apologize for the Beatles, man.
No, I'm only joking. I make a joke about it, but it's totally fine.
That's almost like, so how did you get your band name?
Are you inspired by Conan the Barbarian?
Yes.
Well, come on.
That was my next question.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, the next interview we do, I'm going to ask you to wear a hoodie, but put it on backwards with the hood over your face, and
that's fine.
Good.
All right then.
You would do that for us?
That's fine, and it'll all make sense then.
Yeah.
I'll do that for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll all make sense, and it'll be like I've come around full circle.
Right.
Next time we do the interview, I'm going to do the interview that way, just to be a dick. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
All right, John.
Thanks,
take
John.
care.
I appreciate it.
One.
Be well.
See you later.
Right,
Thank you. Take care.
Right
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.